What's going on, guys? No One Wide here again. Thanks for tuning in for another video. Today's video, we will hopefully be getting the entire fuel return system installed on the IS300. I'll show you guys the steps you need to take in order to get it installed in your car. A lot has been going on around here. Some good news and some bad news. If you so happen to notice in the background, I now am the owner of a Nash Metropolitan. Quirky little cars. Picked it up for free from like a family member, so I don't know, there's that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it just yet, but it's there, so you'll probably be seeing it in the background from time to time. On a sad note, and I just can't catch a break, any of these cars, I was parked picking up this Nash and somebody backed into the Lexus. And yep, dented up the fender pretty good, as you can tell, so yeah, just, I don't know. Car gets stolen, now this car gets hit, so I don't know what's going on. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep pushing forward and just try and stay positive with these things, because nothing much you can do about that. That's just life. So I'm going to have to go on ahead and pull apart some of this stuff so that we can get enough space to work on the fuel rail and be able to mount the fuel pressure regulator. So alright, so this is the fuel pressure regulator I'm going to be running. It is a DWR-1000. Obviously there's many different fuel pressure regulators you can run. I decided to run this one because it's pretty compact. You could run the Aeromotive fuel pressure regulators. AEM makes one as well that'll work just fine. Pretty much any fuel pressure regulator that will match the fuel line you want to use. In my case, I'm using Deatschwerks PTFE line. So this is Deatschwerks inlet and outlet, and also has a port here for the fuel pressure gauge. I have that somewhere, I don't know, I'll have to find it, but that is what I'm going to be using. This is a 1-to-1 boost reference right here, so there's a vacuum port right here, so as boost rises, this will rise directly with it in the same ratio, so I'll definitely have all the fueling that I need, and it is adjustable up here. So yeah, I think this thing was about 120 bucks. So this will work perfectly. It does come with a little like bracket here to mount it. I don't know if I'll be able to use it, but it's here, which is great. And then went on ahead and got 20 feet of PTFE line. Obviously, if you're not gonna run E85, you don't need to use PTFE line. I'm not gonna be running E85 because there's just not many stations around here that sell it. Plus, I don't like what it does to your fuel system over time. You know, it kind of gums up things. I just got PTFE, you know, because if you know me, I don't like doing things twice. And in case I ever needed to run E85, at least I know I'd have the line for it. So this is Deatschwerks, 20 feet of it. I went on ahead and bought this from someone on Craigslist just because I don't want to mess with my fuel rail at all. I just want to leave it stock. I'm going to pull that one off, and then I'm going to go on ahead and drill this one to accept the you'll need an 1/8 inch MPT to 6AN adapter. You'll just drill the hole right here and tap it, and then just put the fitting right in there, and that'll go out to the fuel pressure regulator, and then it'll go back into the fuel tank. So if you're not taking off your fuel rail, there's the port that you need to drill. I don't recommend doing it on the car because obviously if you drill, there's going to be metal shavings, and that might find its way into your fuel injectors and get them stuck. So that's why I bought another one as well, so I can just drill it off the car and I can blow out the metal shavings with some compressed air or something like that. Now that we've got the fuel rail out, I'm gonna go ahead and take this fuel rail just across the street to my neighbor's house and borrow his bench vise real quick. This is the port, as I mentioned earlier, that you guys need to drill and tap to accept whatever fitting it is that you're using. For me, I'm gonna be using a 1/8 inch MPT to 6AN or -6 flare line up here. This is the MPT portion right here that's gonna get tapped and drilled, and then you're just gonna screw that right into the rail there. I also got this from Drill America on Amazon. This is what I'm gonna be using to drill and tap the rail. Comes with a drill bit, comes with a tap. Got back from the neighbor's house, got this fitting installed, drilled, tapped, some Teflon tape, and remember this is the 1/8 inch MPT to -6 flare, so it's gonna work perfectly for me. Looks pretty good. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get this guy installed onto the car now and try and mock up the rest of the return system. Got the fuel rail completely installed. I'm trying to see if I can block some of the sun for you guys, but fuel rail is in. Got the, you can see the fitting here that I got tapped and installed in there. I got all the wiring back together. Everything is back in and completely installed. And then as far as the fuel pressure regulator is concerned, I went on ahead and just, I'm sorry the lighting sucks, but I went on ahead and just put the fuel pressure regulator right here. Now there's multiple places you can mount it at. That just so happens to be the best place that I feel is going to work. I've seen guys mount it, they'll drill a hole and tap a hole right here, this little like notch right there. They'll actually drill into the manifold and mount it there. Some guys have actually even mounted them on the sides of the manifold right here and right here, but I'm not going to do that. I like where I have it mounted at now. It is sideways, but on their website it says that you can mount these any direction you want, even upside down. Yeah, I got this guy. All I did was mount it to a little, I don't know, I guess a mounting bolt for the intake manifold. I don't know if you can really see it in there. It's just behind this here fitting I have on. But anyway, I got it mounted right there. I believe this will work best for me because fuel pressure regulators, the inlets are on the side, so you can see this right here will be an inlet. So basically you're gonna come right out of the rail right here, and I'll just direct it right to this inlet port over here, which would work great. And then the outlet is actually on the bottom, which is why I have a 45-degree fitting. Now these are just your normal standard AN fittings. These are for PTFE line, so if you're not using PTFE line, make sure you get the correct fittings, because the PTF fittings have a little ferrule inside, or I believe that's how you say it. There's like a little collar inside. If you have a collar inside of your fittings, you need to use PTFE line. If you don't have a collar inside, you can just use your standard AN line. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and try to make up a line from here to here, from the rail to the inlet of the fuel pressure regulator, and then from the outlet of the fuel pressure regulator, you need to take the line all the way back to the fuel pump hanger or the fuel pump area. So first line made up, going from the rail to the fuel pressure regulator. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to clear the engine cover. I'm kind of hoping it does. Even if it doesn't, I think I could just notch a small hole into that to make sure that I can fit that back on, because these engines don't look right without them. So I went on ahead and got the modified hanger installed. So see I got my return port right here. Now I think I'm ready to just go on ahead and route the return hose from the fuel pressure regulator up front back to the back. Alright, I apologize, it just got really windy, but I did get the return line ran. You can see zip tied there. I have it just running straight back down. Now you can't really see it because it's black, but just runs straight down under the car. It's just running right straight under the car. I did remove the plastic shield, and it's just running along the factory fuel lines. I just have it zip tied up, running all the way back down. Just make sure you get it up tight so it's not dragging on the ground, obviously. And I just have it running right inside here, and it turns out I probably did not need to get 20 feet of this because I have a lot left over. Probably could have just done with maybe 15 feet or even 10 feet possibly, but I wanted to make sure I had enough so I can always reuse this for another project. Got the line in, got it terminated, and looks pretty good. The only downside to this giant swivel 90 is that it's kind of tall and this cover won't go on it, so I actually had to trim out some of this cover. I just used some tin snips and cut around it so it fits now. Okay. It'll fit like that, so I'll probably tape up this hose over here so it's not rubbing through it, but this is as best as it can be. I'm going to try and put all the pieces back together so that I can actually try and start this thing and set the base pressure for the fuel pressure regulator. I want to check for leaks, and I want to actually see if this thing will run with the upgraded fuel pump and see if I can get it to idle and run normally with this return system. Even though it's not designed to run that way and the computer might flip out, but I'm going to try and see if I can get it to run with this return system. Alright, I got everything back together up here, finally. I'm really not a fan of this crossover intake tube. Hopefully eventually in the future I can get a forward facing intake manifold and I would, you know, get rid of all that ugliness, but for now I'm just going to run it how it is. I have some good news and I have some bad news. I did get it to start and it idled just fine. The base fuel pressure was set at, I don't know if you can see it, the fuel pressure was set at 60, which is way too high, so I actually lowered it down to around 40 psi, and it seemed to like that. The fuel trims were doing okay. However, I couldn't let it run so long because I did have a fuel leak, and I thought it was going to be some of these lines that I made, you know, the new lines I made up, but actually none of that's leaking at all. Actually what was leaking was the number 6 fuel injector in the back. I don't know why, but that means I got to take all of this back off again just to see what's going on with that. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll probably do that off camera and just get that sorted out, but there was no leaks up here at all. I went back and checked the fuel return line back here, and there was nothing leaking back here at all, so it's dry. I just have this kind of just plugged up and mocked up right now just so I can get the car to run. So there was no check engine lights, nothing weird was going on, so I'm pretty happy overall. I'd say it's a pretty successful install, aside from the fuel injector that's leaking in the back, but I don't know what's up with that. Maybe I'll just have to buy some new injector O-rings, or maybe I just didn't seat it right or something. I don't know what's going on with it, but oh man, tell you what, I don't like summertime much, and these allergies are going to start kicking my butt, so I apologize if sometimes you guys see me and my eyes are just watering. I have pretty bad allergies, so you'll just have to excuse me for that. But yeah, I'd say that this install went pretty well. Didn't really have any issues with it. Everything went together pretty smoothly. I'm just gonna have to take all the intake stuff apart again just so I can get to the fuel injector leak. Hopefully that's nothing too big and I don't have to do too much with it. Maybe just the O-ring got unseated or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully it's just something simple. But yeah, after I get that done, I'll probably just try and take it on a test drive and see if I can get the fuel trims to be, you know, about where they need to be, and that way the computer is happy for now until I actually start installing the turbo itself and going further into the install. I don't know what I'm going to attack next. I might try to do the oil drain for the turbo, and I might actually try to replace the motor mounts because I don't want to upgrade them, but I know they're old and I might want to, since I have to lift the engine up anyway to get to the oil pan gasket, or excuse me, to get to the oil pan, because I'm not about to drill straight into the oil pan and just let all the metal flakes fall down into the oil pan and have that running through my motor. So I am gonna have to drop the oil pan, and to do that you need to lift up the engine some. So we'll see. It's a lot of work, but you know, aftermarket turbo kits, they are, you know, they are what they are, and you do have to put in a little bit of time and effort to get them on and to get them running right. So this is probably the first step I recommend that anyone does, is just to go on ahead and set up your fuel return, because you can actually drive the car around still, even though you don't have the turbo on. You can still go on ahead and get that installed and not have any problems with it. So I appreciate you guys checking into this video, and I hope that you guys like this content that I'm putting out. I do have the Honda still. I did get an offer to buy it back, so just know that that's working in the background, and I'll try to get that going as soon as I can. But it is right over there, just sitting on the street, so it's still here, just not really doing much right now. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and if it's your first time to the channel, appreciate you stopping by. If you guys can hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with your friends, it really helps a small channel like me grow. And to those of you that have subscribed already, I appreciate you guys continuing to watch, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.